On the news tonight, President Tinubu unveils Africa Counter-Terrorism Summit, saying terrorism is an imported evil. Osun State government reiterates commitments to elderly living with reintroduction of experts to the state health insurance scheme. While on the foreign scene, 3,000 years old Egyptian statue returns to Egypt. Good evening, and we're glad to have you join us on the major reports. I am Olubumi Ajiboye Agbola. President Bola Tinubu has unveiled the African Counter-Terrorism Summit at the Office of the National Security Advisor in Abuja, describing terrorism as an imported evil that must be banished from Africa. According to reports, the event, which is currently ongoing and organized by the federal government with the support from the United Nations Office of Counter-Terrorism, will be held between today and tomorrow, with the theme strengthening regional cooperation and institution building to address the evolving threat of terrorism. The presidency announced that the summit aims to enhance multilateral counter-terrorism cooperation. President Bola Tinubu said terrorism serves as a clog in the wheels of a prosperous and just society envisioned for citizens, adding that it craves despotism and suppression, not democracy and enlightened society. The president urged participants at the meeting to combine determined national efforts with well-tailored regional and international collaboration to fight insecurity on the continent. The meeting was attended by the Deputy UN Secretary General Amina Mohammed, the UNOPT Under Secretary General Vladimir Vurokov, and Special Representative of the UN Secretary General for West Africa and Sahel, Leonardo Shimaru, and other high-level UN officials. African leaders present at the meeting include presidents of the Republic of Benin, Ghana, Togo, and Minister of National Defense Mauritius, Anana, among others. Meanwhile, Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives Benjamin Kalu has called for urgent need for a multi-layered policing approach that prioritizes local security to enable a more responsive policing environment in the country. Speaking at the opening of the National Dialogue on State Policing organized by the House of Representatives, Kalu said the figure starkly exposes the alarming growth of the criminal enterprise in the country. He said the 2024 Global Terrorism Index painted a concerning picture, ranking Nigeria 4th in sub-Saharan Africa and 8th globally for countries most impacted by terrorism. He explained that gathering highlighted state policing as a national priority, reflecting a deep understanding of the need for a new approach to tackling insecurity. Kalu said an estimated 5 billion naira has been paid as ransom for kidnappers since 2016. In the meantime, former President Goodluck Jonathan has lent his voice on the issue of the state police in Nigeria, saying it is not negotiable as it is already a settled matter. Dr. Jonathan, who spoke in Abuja at the ongoing national dialogue on state police, added there is no way the government can manage its internal security if the state police is not established. Drawing reference from his administration, the former president disclosed that the 2014 National Conference unanimously endorsed the establishment of state police, National Border Guard, and National Coast Guard. He, however, said that Nigerians, including the National Assembly, must focus on how to create an operational framework for state police in a way that enhances the country's national security architecture for the overall security and progress of Nigeria. In the meantime, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Betokun, says Nigeria is not ripe for the establishment of state police. Betokun made this known while speaking at a one-day dialogue on state policing, adding that the establishment of state police will exhibit ethnic tension, leading to divided loyalty in the state. Represented by AIG Ben Okolo, the Inspector General added that it will lead to multiple command structures in the states, as governors are likely to abuse the privilege of state police by using it for political gains, leading to possible abuse of power and abuse of human rights. He argued that the state government lacked required funding that will give birth to the type of policing that the nation requires. Meanwhile, the IGP recommended the merging of Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps and the Federal Road Safety Commission to form a department in the police force. He also pointed out that there is the need for a yearly recruitment of about 30,000 police personnel into the force to meet the United Nations requirements for modern policing, also to increasing annual budgetary allocation to the force. The federal government has launched guidelines on safe motherhood targeting at least 7 million pregnant women and at least 6 million newborns birth annually. Speaking at the launch of the guidelines, the Labor Care Guide and the guidelines for community use of misoprostol to commemorate the 2024 Safe Motherhood Day in Abuja, the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Pate, noted that it is possible to achieve safe motherhood in the country. Professor Pate said safe motherhood is to improve the life expectancy and quality of life of Nigerian women through the provision of quality maternal and newborn services while ensuring safety through properly supervised pregnancy, skilled attendance at birth, and post-delivery care at all levels of healthcare delivery system, thereby reducing maternal mortality and morbidity. He explained that Nigeria has a large burden of preventable maternal deaths, and the country has also a large burden of newborn mortality, but has made some progress, which is not enough, noting that every death of a mother is an unfortunate incident, as the healthcare is part of President Bola Tinubu's key agenda. The minister said they approved 25 billion naira from the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund through the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency and the National Health Insurance Authority gateways is to ensure quality healthcare in reducing maternal mortality. This year's Safe Motherhood Day is themed Investing in Maternal Health for a Sustainable Future. The Osun State government is committed to ensuring healthy living of its citizens with the reintroduction of experts to the state health insurance scheme. Governor Ademola Adeleke said this during the flag off of a retreat for the recently inaugurated board of Osun Health Insurance Agency. Saeed Adeboje has details.
Addressing members of the board of Osun Health Insurance Agency, Governor Ademola Adeleke expressed the commitment of his administration to filling all gaps that have been created in the health sector. Governor Adeleke, who spoke through the Commissioner for Health, Jola Akintola, said that his administration has raised the standard of the health insurance scheme to the extent that it has become a toast of other states in the Federation. He implored participants to take the retreat with utmost seriousness, as the present administration is poised at giving the best of healthcare delivery to all residents of the state, irrespective of their financial status.
Expects them to cooperate with the management team who have been on the ground since, with the technocrats, with the administrative staff who have been on the ground, they know the nitty-gritty of the office, and they have the quality of the healthcare delivery, and especially as relates to insurance.
In his speech, the Executive Secretary of Osun Health Insurance Agency, Dr. Rasaq Akindele, noted that Governor Ademola Adeleke has demonstrated high leadership qualities, which has led to improvement in the enrollment of people from the informal sector. He noted that the present administration has enrolled all retirees into the program, while some ailment treatment have been added to the catchment of the health insurance scheme.
Somebody that has a mind and has a fighter to do
anything good for the citizen of Osun State.
Speaking in an interview, the representative of National Health Insurance Scheme, Mr. Woyemi Olujide, lauded the commitment of Governor Ademola Adeleke's administration at ensuring a healthy living for all in the state. He expressed conviction that the retreat will serve as an avenue for the newly inaugurated board members to widen their horizon in their new assignment.
The constitution of the board by the governor definitely needed to be able to move forward and do things better.
For Osbc News, this is Said Adewoye reporting.
Meanwhile, vaccination for children between the ages of 0 to 5 is crucial in helping to prevent illnesses, outbreak of diseases, and contributes to building immunity for a healthy society. Deputy Director of Nursing Services, Osun State Hospital, Ikiro, Mrs. Suebat Ogidimbe, stated this while speaking with Osbc News on the importance of immunization for children marking this year's World Immunization Week. Mrs. Ogidimbe noted that immunization prevents almost 5 million deaths every year from diseases such as diphtheria, tetanus, influenza, and measles, among others.
My advice for mothers is that they should ensure that their children are adequately immunized. We have various vaccinations from birth to 2 years or to 5 years. They should follow the course and make sure the vaccination is completed. The vaccinations we have at birth, we have OPV, oral polio vaccine, that prevents polio infection. We have HPV vaccine that prevents hepatitis B, and BCG that prevents tuberculosis. That is given at birth. We still have others. We have pentavalent vaccine, we have PCV that prevents pneumonia, and we have Rota that prevents diarrhea.
In another development, Osun State government has put all necessary arrangements in place to receive the wife of the president, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, who will visit the state tomorrow on an official duty. A statement issued by the State Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Oluomokolapo Alimi, indicated that the First Lady will perform the turning of sword of the alternative high school for girls at Okedio Ilesha Road, Osogbo. It adds that the exercise to be performed by Senator Tinubu will be at the instance of a non-governmental organization, Renewed Hope Initiative, geared towards achieving a better life for all families in the country. The statement further implores the people of the state to come out en masse to receive the First Lady and her entourage. Meanwhile, the attention of Governor Ademola Adeleke has been drawn to fake news in circulation about conflict over who among the governor's 2 wives is to host the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, on her official visit to the state tomorrow. This is contained in a statement by the spokesperson to the state governor, Malam Olawale Rasheed. The statement clarified that the First Lady of Osun State, Mrs. Titilola Adeleke, is officially hosting the First Lady of Nigeria tomorrow in line with the directives of the governor, as there is no confusion on the official position. It indicated that the flyer circulated purportedly from the office of Erelu Ngozi Adeleke, the wife of the state governor, is fake news and the mischief maker has been nabbed. In the meantime, wife of Osun State Governor, Mrs. Titilola Adeleke, has described the proposed visit of the First Lady to Osogbo, the state capital, as yet another important avenue to be maximized to the fullest for the growth and development of people, especially women and children. This is contained in a statement by the Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Oluomokolapo Alimi. The statement added that Mrs. Adeleke made this known while addressing members of the Special Committee put in place by the governor for the visit of the wife of the president to the state, expressing her delight for the arrangement put in place by the committee in line with what she described as the hospitable disposition of the government and people of the state. Mrs. Adeleke reiterated her commitment to make the event a memorable one for the First Lady and the people of Osun State. The Nigerian Labour Congress says it will prescribe sanctions for governors and local government administrators who failed to implement the new minimum wage. The National Treasurer of the NLC, Comrade Akim Ambali, in an interview in Abuja said the refusal of state governors to pay the current minimum wage was as a result of a lack of primitive measures in the Minimum Wage Act of 2019. He said that the 37-member committee set up by the federal government will meet this week to debate reports submitted by various subcommittees from the 6 zones of the country. Comrade Ambali stated that in the new minimum wage bill, which will soon be signed into law by the president, will include some internal process that will make it difficult for governors not to pay the new minimum wage. The new minimum wage to be unveiled is expected to cushion the effects of the removal of subsidy on premium motor spirits. The federal government says it will launch the compressed natural gas initiative ahead of the first anniversary of President Bola Tinubu's administration on May 29. Adiza Bala has details of this and some others.
Presidential spokesperson Bayo Onanuga made this known in a statement that the federal government said the first set of the initiative crucial assets for deployment can now be delivered. Onanuga said the committee is partnering with the private sector to deliver the promise on the initiative, with requisite tax and duty waivers approved by Tinubu last year. He noted that the federal government, in collaboration with private sector through the presidential CNG initiative, will deliver 100 conversion workshops and 60 refueling sites across 18 states before year end. Onanuga added that the private sector has responded with over $50 million in the actual investment in refueling stations, conversion centers, and mother stations. According to him, countries like India, China, Iran, Pakistan, Brazil, Argentina, and Italy are adopting natural gas-powered vehicles to reduce pollution, adding that studies indicate petrol and diesel engines are primary contributors to pollution. Meanwhile, foreign exchange transactions at the Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange Market window rose by 276.1% to 1.7 billion in the last 1 week. NAFEM is a singular formal market trading segment for investors, exporters, and end users, with the abolition of multiple exchange rates by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Forex trades are made at exchange rate determined by prevailing market circumstances, ensuring efficient and effective price discovery in the Nigerian forex market. According to reports, although the Naira lost 2.4% against the dollar to settle at 1,169.99 Naira at the NAFEM official window, it appreciated by 7.4% to close at 1,145 Naira to dollar week on week at the parallel market. In another development, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria says it's expecting that the Dangote refinery will reduce the price of its diesel further to about 700 Naira per litre. The National Vice Chairman of IPMAN, Ahmed Fashola, stated this while appreciating the Dangote refinery for reducing the price of diesel from over 1,200 Naira to 1,000 Naira. In an interview with newsmen, Fashola maintained that the marketers have high expectations that the price of diesel will still go down. According to him, the rebound of the Naira against the dollar will bring about an appreciable reduction in the diesel price. He further explained that the price will be reduced because the challenges of shipments, customs duties, and others have been removed since the product is being produced locally. Hadiza Bala, OSBC News.
You are welcome to the sports segment. The Nigeria Football Federation has prioritized pre-campaign MRI scans for all players to ensure only those within the right age bracket represent the country at the Under-17 men's national team, the Golden Eaglets. According to the team media officer Francis Archie, the football body is leaving no margin for errors in order to avoid extensive dissemination of the team due to failed MRI tests as in the past. Archie added that every player scouted is mandated to have an MRI scan at designated hospitals approved by the NFF. After that has been done and the player has passed grades 1 to 4, he can be able to join up with the rest of the team. He further stated that NFF is not accepting grade 5 because the player will exceed the required age before the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. While on the foreign scene, an Egyptian statue aged more than 3,000 years old has arrived back home over 3 decades since it was stolen and smuggled out of the country. Sarah Solomon has more.
According to the Egyptian government, the statue depicts a head of the ancient king Ramses II, who was one of the country's most powerful rulers. The artifact, which dates back to more than 3,400 years, was taken from the Ramses II temple in the ancient city of Abydos. Egyptian authorities spotted it in 2013 when it went up for sale at a gallery in London. It was then moved to several countries until it reached Switzerland, where it was reclaimed in collaboration with Swiss authorities. The Antiquities Ministry said that Egypt proved that it had rights to the piece and that the artifact left its borders illegally. Meanwhile, it will undergo restoration and maintenance at the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. Meanwhile, the Israeli military intelligence chief has resigned, saying he took responsibility for the failures before Hamas' attack on Israel last year. The Israel Defense Forces said Major General Aharon Haliva would retire once his successor was selected. He acknowledged that his intelligence directorate did not live up to the task they were entrusted with, noting that he is the first senior figure to step down over the attack, which were the deadliest in Israel's history. He further said that the Israeli military and intelligence officials missed or ignored multiple warnings before hundreds of Hamas gunmen breached the Gaza border fence and attacked nearby Israeli communities, military bases, and a musical festival. He also called for the establishment of a state commission of inquiry that can investigate and find out in a thorough, in-depth, comprehensive, and precise manner all the factors and circumstances that led to the difficult events. The report says about 1,200 Israelis and foreigners, mostly civilians, were killed and 253 others were taken back to Gaza as hostages. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that everyone will need to provide answers. However, he has so far refused to accept any direct responsibility. In another development, Chinese authorities have evacuated nearly 60,000 people from their homes in Guangdong as days of heavy rain caused massive flooding in China's most populous province. Reports say that 3 people have died so far, while 11 have gone missing. Several major rivers have burst their banks, and authorities are closely monitoring dangerously high water levels. The Chinese authorities had warned that the level of a river in northern Guangdong could hit a once-in-100 years peak, although this had yet to materialize. But much of Guangdong is part of the low-lying Pearl River Delta, which is prone to floods due to the rise in sea levels and storm surges. The delta is a major manufacturing base in China and one of the country's most densely populated regions, with Guangdong alone home to around 127 million people as provincial capital Guangzhou, as well as smaller cities. Shogu and Hiyuan were among the worst. Flights have been cancelled and delayed at Biyong International Airport in Guangzhou due to continuous rain, while schools have been ordered shut in at least 3 cities. Dozens of the homes across the province have either collapsed or have been severely damaged. Sarah Solomon reporting for Osbc News.
And that ends the major report on Osbc TV. It was edited by Michael Adini. I am Olubumi Ajibule Agbola, wishing you a pleasant evening. Good night.